Imagine standing in front of a heavy antique armoire in a sun-drenched room. Inside that armoire is a collection of the finest fabrics that you've gathered over a lifetime. Silk from a trip that you took in your 20s, sturdy linens from the years as being a young mom, and perhaps some expensive cashmere you bought when you finally reached that senior title at work. Every time you open those doors, you feel a complicated mix of inspiration and heavy guilt. You have the raw materials to create something breathtaking, a legacy wardrobe that reflects the woman you are today. Because you haven't sat down with a pattern, those bolts of cloth are collecting dust. This is the exact digital weight so many of us carry. Your armoire is that folder on your hard drive labeled Purchase PLR or Digital Assets. It's full of guides and templates that you bought with a spark of hope, yet they remain invisible to the world. And because they stay hidden, your digital boutique remains a dream. You feel the pull of the soft life, but you're still wearing that itchy, restrictive uniform of the grind because you haven't turned your material into a foundation. If you're new to our circle, welcome to the 5th episode of the Glimmer and Grace Co podcast. I'm Michelle, and I'm here to help you navigate your graceful pivot toward a soft life of sophisticated simplicity while helping you build your quiet income from your digital boutique. For over 30 years, I lived by the rhythm of the school bell. As an educator, my life was segmented into 45-minute blocks dictated by administrative mandates and the constant pouring out of my energy into a system that I didn't own. It was a noble path, but it was one where I was the employee. Now, as I prepare for my move to New Orleans this June and anticipate the arrival of my first grandson in May, the grind no longer has a seat at my table. I'm looking for a portable life. A life where I can be the grandmother who stays, as long as she's needed. To achieve that level of freedom, we need what I call the transition blueprint. We need a way to build a business that doesn't require us to trade every single hour for $1. This is where private label rights content, or PLR, becomes the most sophisticated tool in your kit. I know the word content can feel cold, but I want you to look at PLR through the lens of vetted wisdom. It's the high-quality flour or the organic sugar that allows the master baker to focus on the artistry of the icing. It is the architectural frame of the house that allows the designer to focus on the soul of the home. For the GenX woman, time isn't just money. It's our lifeblood. We are the anchor generation. We are the ones holding the hands of our adult daughters as they navigate through their first pregnancies while researching the best care for our aging parents. We are moving houses, changing cities, and reclaiming our identities all at once. We do not have the luxury or the desire to spend 40 hours a week staring at a blinking white cursor on a computer screen, trying to reinvent the wheel. The soft life requires us to be efficient so that we can be present. PLR allows you to maintain a consistent, graceful presence in your digital boutique while you are physically present for the glimmers in your real life. Those moments like a slow coffee on a balcony or watching the Bayou Boys, my 3 dogs, chase shadows in the yard. It allows you to share your teacher heart without exhaustion of being teacher prepped. However, we must address why so many women fail at these digital assets. Most women buy PLR as if they're shopping on a clearance rack. You can find them on Etsy for 99 cents. They buy these based on a fleeting trend or a limited time offer, and then they realize that the fabric that they bought doesn't fit the brand that they're building. To build a quiet income, you must stop being a spectator of your own business and start being the architect. Building a boutique that offers a specific transformation. When you know your why, choosing your foundational materials becomes intentionality rather than a desperation. So let's look at this 3-step framework. First, we define the boutique. Before you buy a single piece of content, you must know what your boutique stands for. Is it a place for peace, for organization, for spiritual growth, If your boutique is about sophisticated simplicity, then your content should reflect that. You aren't looking for the 101 ways to hustle. You're looking for the art of the slow pivot. Second, audit the inventory. Go into the digital armoire, open the folders, read the words, ask yourself, if I said this to a friend over a cold drink in the French Quarter, would I feel like myself? If the answer is no, we don't discard it. Third, map the journey. Every piece of content must lead somewhere. We create a path that leads our sisters from overwhelm to grace. The graceful pivot is about shedding the roles that demanded our constant labor so that we could discover the life waiting for us under the noise. PLR is the bridge that gets us across the river fast. It allows us to trade the classroom for the matriarch life, turning our decades of experience into products that work for us even when we're offline. Now let's talk about how to choose the right materials for your boutique, girl. Think of this like selecting a signature scent or a piece of jewelry you plan to pass down to your daughters. You don't just want something popular or trending on a social media feed. You want something that resonates with the soul of your brand. In our circle, we call this goal-aligned selection. Imagine walking through a high-end antique shop on Magazine Street in New Orleans. Thousands of items, beveled mirrors, wrought iron gates, delicate lace. It's all beautiful, but only a few pieces truly belong in our home. If you bought everything that caught your eye, your living space would feel like a warehouse, not a sanctuary. When you're looking at a PLR, whether it's a set of blog posts, a digital planner, or a full-scale course, you must be an intentional curator. Many women fall into the trap of digital hoarding. We see a massive content bundle at a bargain price and we think, hey, I might need that someday. If that content doesn't serve your specific legacy goal, it's digital clutter. It's like buying a heavy wool coat when you're planning to spend your winters in the South. It's high quality, but it doesn't serve your current reality. It takes up space, creating a sense of, I should be doing something with this, which is the exact opposite of a soft life that we're building. To choose with wisdom of a modern elder, you must first define where the gap is in your business. We don't want to buy content just to have it. We buy it to use it as a bridge. This leads us to a deeper exploration of the anchor check framework. First, let's look at awareness. Do people know your boutique is open? If you feel like you're speaking into the void, you don't need a massive course. You need glimmers. These are small pieces of wisdom. Perhaps a series of 5 media posts or a blog post that acts as a window display for your shop. They catch the eye of the woman who's scrolling while she waits at the doctor's office with her mother. They offer her a moment of grace and invite her to learn more about you. Second, consider your lead generation. This is the handshake of your business. Once someone steps inside your digital circle, how do you welcome them in? This is where your lead magnet comes in. If you don't have a high-quality guide, a checklist, a lesson plan to offer in exchange for an email address, look for PLR that provides a quick win. It should be something that she can use in 15 minutes to feel 10% more at peace. If your PLR is too dense or complicated, it's a barrier. Third, we must address your paid offerings. This is the heart of your income. Are you actually open for business or are you just sharing information? You need a digital product that solves a real, tangible problem for the women in the sandwich generation. Maybe it's a 30-day journaling prompt series for navigating family transitions or a planner for the graceful pivot. We have a woman in our community and she has spent 25 years in corporate HR. She was a master at conflict resolution and organizational culture. She wanted to start a boutique helping women over 50 find their next chapter after they left the nest. She bought a massive PLR pack on general life coaching, but she couldn't bring herself to use it. When we sat down to look at it, we realized why. The content was written for 20-somethings looking to manifest $1 million. It talked about crushing your limits and becoming a powerhouse. And that wasn't her at all. She was about sophisticated simplicity. She was about the quiet power of a woman who knows who she is. Once she applied the anchor check, she realized she didn't need the powerhouse bundle. She needed a simple, elegant framework for her reflective living. She found a small, vetted PRL pack on mindfulness. She removed all of the hustle language and infused it with her own stories about the quiet of her empty nest. Suddenly, she wasn't just selling PLR. She was offering a sanctuary. The soft life in business isn't about the volume of your content. It's about the resonance of your voice. When you find PLR that aligns with your core values, you aren't just buying words on a page. You're buying back your Saturday mornings. You're buying the ability to sit on the porch. For me, it'd be with Scott and my Bayou boys, my 3 dogs. Knowing that your digital boutique is serving someone else with excellence while you're offline. Before you click buy on another content pack, I want you to pause. Put your hands on your heart and ask, does this help me build my legacy, or is it just filling a folder because I'm afraid of being behind? We are building boutiques, not flea markets full of random items. Every asset you bring into your library should be an anchor that keeps your business steady and your heart at peace. Imagine you found the perfect house in New Orleans with high ceilings and original hardwood floors. When you first walk in, the walls are neutral, uninspired beige. It has the structure you need, the roof is solid, the plumbing works, and the windows let in that gorgeous southern light. But it doesn't feel like your home yet. It doesn't feel like a sanctuary until you bring in your favorite rugs, hang the photos of your daughters or your sons, and fill the kitchen with the scent of a simmering pot of gumbo. PLR is the digital equivalent of interior design. You take the beige content, the solid structural frame, and you infuse it with your soul. That is what I like to call the magic layer. It's the difference between a generic PDF and a legacy asset. To do this effectively, I want to teach you a framework that I use every single day called the Triple C method. It has color, context, and connection. The first C is color. This is the aesthetic of your voice. Add your color. Color is about the vocabulary of your brand. As an educator for 30 years, I have a certain way of speaking. I use words like lesson plan and anchor and grace. If the PLR I buy is aggressive, masculine language like crush it, hustle, or dominating the market, I swap those words out. I soften the edges. I make the language match the woman who would be sitting on a balcony with me, sharing a cold drink and in deep conversation. If a sentence feels too stiff, break it. If it feels too corporate, add a bit of warmth. You are the filter through this information. If you wouldn't say it to your best friend over coffee, don't let it stay in your digital product. The second C is context. Apply your teacher's heart. Take the general information from the PLR and apply it to the specific high-stakes reality that your audience faces. For example, if you have a PLR article about setting goals, don't leave it as a generic list. That's beige content. Instead, turn it into setting goals for the sandwich generation. How to plan your week when you're balancing grandkids and aging parents. Now, you aren't just giving them a list, you're giving them a lifeline. You're taking a broad concept and narrowing it down to a specific pain point of the woman who's trying to navigate her shift while still being the family anchor. That is exhausting. Context is what makes your boutique stand out in a crowded market. It shows her that you see her. The third and most important C is the connection. This is where you tell your story. Why does this topic matter to you? Why are you the one to share it? I took a PLR checklist about digital organization, and it was a good list, but it was dry. I added a story. I talked about how I organized my own digital life so that when June 2026 rolls around and I'm moving to New Orleans, my business doesn't stop. I shared my excitement about my first grandson arriving in May and how I wanted my boutique to run on autopilot so I could hold that baby without a laptop in my lap. When you add your personal why, the content becomes original. So share your heart. It becomes yours, No one else has had your specific life experience. No one else has your 30 years in the classroom or your specific journey raising daughters or sons. No one has your own experience. It's yours. It's unique to you. So your story is a unique selling proposition that no one else can replicate. I wanted to share a story about one of the women in our group. She is an expert in early childhood education, and she wanted to sell a guide for new grandmothers, but she was terrified to launch it because she felt like she was cheating by using PLR. So we sat down and we looked at the slides that she wanted to purchase, and I asked her, "How did you feel the first time you held your grandchild?" And she started crying. And she told me about the weight of the legacy that she felt in the moment. We took that raw, beautiful emotion and we put it right into the introduction of her guide. We replaced the stock photos with photos of her actual garden and grandchild from behind because she was not comfortable sharing his face. By the time that we were done, she only had about 40% of the original content, but the structure usually takes months to build from scratch. It was all done in a single weekend. This is how you build quiet income. You aren't grinding away at a keyboard for 10 hours. You're taking 15 minutes to add a personal glimmer to a pre-written post. You're taking 1 hour to record a video based on a PLR script that you've tweaked to sound like your own voice. And it is about working with intentionality so that your business supports your life rather than consuming it. Remember the woman you're speaking to, the woman who's tired, overwhelmed, and ready for her soft life. She isn't looking for this revolutionary new scientific discovery. She's looking for vetted wisdom that she can trust. She's looking for a guide who has already walked the path and can show her the graceful pivot, that it's possible. Your customized content is the map you're handing to her to help her find her own way home. So organizing the soft life, moving from the how to customization to the internal structure of your business is where we transition from being a busy creator to a peaceful proprietor. As we lean into the soft life, we have to shed the frantic energy of searching for lost files or trying to remember where we saved that one perfect article we bought 3 months ago. A sophisticated boutique isn't just about the beauty of the storefront. It's about the order of the back room. Think of your PLR library like a well-stocked pantry. If you just toss your groceries into a dark cupboard, you'll end up buying 3 bags of flour you didn't need, while forgetting the one spice. We want to avoid what I like to call a digital bloat. We want a library that feels like a curated collection of resources, ready for you to pull from the shelf the moment inspiration strikes. To keep your peace of mind intact and to ensure that your income remains quiet and not cluttered, I recommend a framework called the boutique inventory. This is how you manage your assets so that they serve you rather than becoming another item on a heavy to-do list. Step 1, you catalog with intent. When you download a new PLR asset, the temptation is to let it sit there in your downloads folder with a cryptic name like bundle file V2. And don't do that. Rename it immediately using your brand's vocabulary. Name a folder Graceful Morning 30 Journal Prompts or Quiet Income Email Series. By naming it for its purpose, you're mentally claiming it. It's the difference between a box of random stuff and a holiday entertaining set. When you look at your computer, you should see a reflection of your boutique's department and not a digital junk drawer. This simple act of naming provides instant clarity. Step 2, the licensing audit. Second, assess the rights. This is the fine print, the rules of the house. As an educator for 3 decades, I'm used to following a syllabus. The PLR has its own set of rules. Not all licenses are created equal. Some allow you to sell the content as a PDF, but not the editable source file. Some allow you to put your name on it, while others require you to change the title. Treat these license agreements like cherished family recipes. I keep a simple text file inside each folder that clearly states what I'm allowed to do. This prevents decision fatigue later on. When I'm ready to launch a new product, I don't want to be hunting for a PDF from a vendor that says if I'm allowed to do something or not. I want to move with confidence of an owner. Step 3, refresh and review. You audit for freshness. Just like a pantry, your digital library needs a seasonal cleaning. Every 90 days, go through your folders. You will find things you forgot, treasures that didn't quite fit your life 6 months ago, but are perfect for where you are now. Maybe last year you weren't ready to talk about the shift because you were still in the classroom grind. But now, as you prepare for your own graceful pivot, that article on navigating major life transitions is suddenly gold. You can dust it off and add a story about the Bayou boys, my dogs, Rocky, Elliot, and Buddha, and I would have a high value blog post ready in minutes. I remember a specific Saturday morning when I was feeling completely overwhelmed. The move to New Orleans was weighing on me. The grandson's arrival was getting closer, and I felt like I was failing at being the anchor for my own family. I sat down at my desk, ready to give up on content for the week. But because I had a library, I found a series of prompts about finding peace in the chaos that I had purchased years ago. Within 20 minutes, I'd polished those prompts, infused them into my current feelings of transition, and sent them out to my community. That organization didn't just save me time, it saved my spirit. It allowed me to be consistent without being exhausted. We're building a business that travels with us. Whether you're helping your adult daughters, navigating a new city, or enjoying the quiet of a Saturday morning, your back office must be as elegant as your front porch. When your assets are organized, you can move with speed, respond to the needs of your community without feeling like you're starting from zero every single time. This is the essence of a portable life. It's having your wisdom, your tools, your stories lined up and ready to serve so that you can spend less time at the computer and more time in the glimmers of your daily life. This is where we must address what I call the boutique architecture. This is where your curated content meets your actual life plan. You see, a soft life doesn't mean a static life. It doesn't mean we simply sit still. It means having a structure that allows for movement and growth without the frantic hustle that characterized our younger years. If you want to build a legacy, you have to stop thinking like a content creator who's constantly chasing the next post and start thinking like a proprietor. Imagine you are designing a beautiful, lush garden for your new home in New Orleans. I always say New Orleans because that's where I'm going. You don't just throw random seeds at the ground. You plant the anchors, the large, sturdy live oaks or magnolia trees that will provide shade for decades. You plant the glimmers, the small, vibrant flowers like jasmine that catch the light and provide a scent. You plan the paths, the brick walkways that lead guests through the experience. Your PLR content should serve these same functions within your digital boutique. I want to share a final framework with you for your first 90 days. I call it the Legacy Launchpad. It is a 3-month rhythm that ensures your quiet income becomes a reality without ever feeling like it's a grind. It's a lesson plan for your freedom. In month 1, you establish your signature anchor. In the first 30 days, your only focus is your signature anchor. This is not the time to be the girl boss, trying a million things at once. You're choosing sophisticated simplicity. You will choose one high-quality PLR product, a full course, a comprehensive ebook, an in-depth workshop, and you will make it your own using the Triple C method. This is your flagship offer. This is the piece of work that will eventually provide your quiet income while you're out celebrating your daughter's birthday or navigating a move or holding your new grandson. You spend this month infusing this one asset with your 30 years of wisdom. You aren't just editing. You are consecrating this work to be a true representation of your legacy. By the end of 30 days, your shop has its first big tree planted. In month 2, designing the entrance paths, we are in our next 30 days and we shift our focus to the entrance paths. Now that you have a beautiful destination, your signature anchor, how will people find it? This is where we use the smaller pieces of PLR. Those blog posts, social media graphics, and checklists, these are your invitations. We aren't shouting from the rooftops or using viral hacks to get attention. We are lighting a candle in the window of our boutique and inviting women in for a conversation. Take these pieces of content and schedule them out like clockwork. Because you've already customized them, they sound like you. They feel like a warm invitation to a front porch. You're building the CEO of your life, creating paths that will lead customers to you for years to come. Now, month 3, the connection cycles are in your final 30 days. We focus on this connection cycle. This is your email nurturing sequence, the heartbeat of your boutique. This is where the income really happens. You take those PLR follow-up emails and you breathe life into them. You tell your audience about your shift. You share your excitement for your grandson arriving in May or the specific glimmers that you found while walking your dog. This is where a random subscriber becomes a member of your community. You're building a digital circle that values your wisdom. By the end of the 90 days, you don't just have a business. You have an ecosystem that supports your portable life. I can think back to my own transition. When I first stepped away from the classroom, after 3 decades, the silence was deafening. I had spent so long being the teacher, the one with all the answers, and tied to a school calendar that I almost forgot how to be Michelle. I felt a phantom pressure to hustle and grind to prove that I was still productive. But then I realized I already have the wisdom. I already have done this hard work of living. I didn't need to hustle to a new identity. I needed a foundation to share the one I already had. Once I embraced PLR as my sophisticated partner, the blank screen stopped being a threat. It became a canvas. I stopped working for my business and my business started working for my life. Your digital boutique is more than just a shop. It's a testament to your journey. It's proof that your daughters, your sons, your husbands, or significant others that follow you, that they can also pivot and build something that lasts without losing their souls to the grind. Every piece of content you polish, every email you send with intention, and every product you launch is a brick in the legacy you are building. We are creating a life where we can be the grandma who stays. We are building a portable life so that when June 2026 rolls around and the moving trucks arrive in New Orleans, it just moves on to a new balcony. Before you head off to start building your boutique foundation, this isn't about perfection. This is about progress. It's about taking those raw materials and turning them into something beautiful. If this podcast episode resonated with you, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Join the Glimmer and Grace Co community. Remember to find your glimmer today and walk in grace. Bye.